A surprise to no one, but I love kimono. I just don't have the proper body shape for kimono, but I can fix that. There's one thing I've learned from historical YouTube is silhouette is key. And in fact, that's true of kimono as well. I do not have a kimono silhouette naturally, but length of circumference has nothing to do with kimono silhouette, which is great. What does is whether or not I have smooth lines. The lack of curves is actually what defines a fashionable silhouette or kimono. And I want to use European style corsetry techniques to see if I can't make something that is comfortable to wear and gives me the correct kimono silhouette. I have drafted a new bodice block, and I did a new one specifically because my previous one was drafted with bust support. And with this particular garment, the whole point is to minimize bust support. I want to drop and flatten and pad out. So I have my back, which is pretty basic. In the front, I have mirrored over, copied in the bust darts, and made this into a wrap top. I've also sketched out, I don't know if you can really make out, where the padding shape is basically going to be. That most of the padding is concentrated up here, but it does extend down a little ways. And that's, again, to smooth out the line from the shoulder to the fullness of the chest. I'm going to go ahead and cut that out of muslin and give that a quick sew up, and then we'll see what it looks like. I have been learning kimono dressing from Billy Matsunaga, who is here on YouTube and also on Instagram. I've taken individual lesson with her on developing padding, and I made the padding in a pattern that she suggested, and it worked, but there were a couple of issues that I personally had with it. I used polyester fiber fill for the top padding, which even through the cotton was super itchy, and the back padding was rolled up old towels. Chunky, heavy, and not very comfortable, in my opinion. And the other problem that I had was because of the boxy construction of that layer, there were gaps. Like, even with the padding, I still had gaps here on both sides of my shoulder, on the back and on the front, where there was just gaping. And because there wasn't anything as far as bottom support goes, like keeping it down, if I raised my arms, I fell out. And then I couldn't get anything back into position correctly. So those are some of the issues that I want to solve from my first version of kimono padding. Overall, it's looking really good. I did, in fact, have to add in some tucks right here. I expected these darts because, well, that's part of the reason why I'm adding padding here, is just fill in that hollow. I also wound up having to add a dart from the fold over to the other apex. This one totally makes sense because when you do a wrap top, you have to take out some of the fullness here, which I didn't do because I wanted to see how it lay. The back looks good. I did wind up taking it in a little bit, and right now this pin is trying to stab me. The sides and the shoulders feel good. I'm feeling really confident about where this is. I'm going to go ahead and make those adjustments, and then I can start cutting out the padding. So I bought some batting that is more natural fibers. This is the Filter's Dream Bamboo, which is a blend. It has some cotton, it has some tencel and bamboo fibers, which are a type of rayon, and it also has a little bit of silk, probably not very much, but it is really soft. It's fairly thin as a single layer, but as with most other paddings, I can layer it up to get the fullness that I want. I'm pretty happy with how this is looking. The silhouette is really smooth. I'm debating if I want to add a little bit more because when I quilt it, it's gonna actually flatten it down a bit. But if I don't quilt it too much, then I think it's gonna be okay. It is really comfortable. It's a more androgynous silhouette, which, being gender fluid, is really cool, especially when it comes to cosplay, that I would be able to cosplay more masculine characters without having to get an actual binder. This does not compress at all. One of the benefits of getting older, I suppose, is gravity. Gravity helps smooth out the whole thing. Technically add a little bit of padding here on the bottom, just to kind of help smooth that out, but I don't think I need. I think I'm gonna go ahead and just base these in place. I could probably take another little bit of fullness out of the armpit here. I want to do the back as just a single layer, so I'm actually going to need to undo the seams so that I can sandwich the raw edges between the two fronts. And I'm doing that just because of breathability. I'm even thinking about sewing eyelets, just evenly spaced throughout the back to make it more of a mesh, just so that it breathes even better. Like, this is cotton and it's gonna breathe all right, but any help I can get. I am super excited about this. I think when I quilt it, I will also probably make vents in this layer. Again, breathability. You cozy back there. Well. Hi. How you doing, sweetheart? Yeah, you doing good? I'm actually going to pause. I tried this on while it was porcupined and realized a big flaw. So here on the back, I built in this little loop, which is designed to basically keep the collar pulled down. Because of my shoulder, which I had frozen shoulder like 3 years ago now, and I'm still recovering from it. I don't have full mobility in my shoulder, and that was extremely difficult for me to spread these ties through the sole tab. So I'm going to change up my design. Rather than having the ties attached here, and then I have to wrap it around and whatnot, I'm going to go ahead and open up this seam, take out the tie. The tie is going to be more or less permanently attached to the back, and then I will pull it around and use like a button or a hook and bar or something. I'm leaning toward the button because button means I can make it adjustable by having multiple button holes. That's what I'm thinking I'm going to do. Those are weak. No, I don't like those. There's these. Meh. Those not too bad. White ones. Those are too big. What is something else? That's a real. these elastic works pretty well. I think I'm actually going to need to make it just a little bit longer still, just so that it's easier to put on. It feels comfortable though. I did not account for the left side needing to be different measurements when overlapping over the right side because of the padding that's on the right side. So I've actually got, like, my darts aren't quite lining up where they should be, and I've got this extra bit, which if I just fold it up, it kind of just stays there, and that's okay. So I might just go ahead and tack this in and maybe put like one small bit of padding in there just to fill out the under chest area. Overall, I am super happy with the silhouette of the top. Still got to do the little eyelets. Today is reasonably cool. Like, it's not hot or anything like that, so I could wear this comfortably. But I think about, like, if I'm wearing it in warmer weather, I definitely want that ventilation. Because it is cotton and it's breathable, I can also technically wear it without the hot doggy, but I want to kind of leave this option available because the less this is touching my skin directly, the less I have to wash this. I just have to wash the hot doggy. I'm going to figure out where I want to place my eyelets. I'm thinking just kind of like a diamond pattern, as if I was quilting the whole thing, but instead it'll be more like tufting with the eyelets on here. And then I can tackle the back, which at this point is going to have to wait till the next video. I was editing this one and already getting kind of long, so I decided to do the back padding as its own video, which will be part 2, followed up pretty quickly. I also wanted to show you the padding here for my chest padding under a t-shirt. Like, I have to do some manipulation or else it shows up here underneath the collar. So if I do want to make a version that I can wear under t-shirts, I'll probably have to do some changes, maybe not make it an actual wrap top, and I did add a little bit of padding here under the bust just to kind of smooth that line out. It's still, there's still some there I could compress, but again, this is padding without compression, getting me that more androgynous silhouette that I'm actually pretty happy with. So I look forward to you joining me on my next video, which should be up pretty quick since all I have to do is edit it. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Look at this little Tahine making biscuits. Yeah. Aw, hi, sweet boy. Do you want some lovin's? No, you're just gonna keep making some spicy biscuits, huh?